Welcome to the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show. I'm your host, Richard Wray. My mission is to help entrepreneurs understand AI and use it to their advantage. Join me today where we dig deep with our guests and get you the best concepts and strategies. Today's special guest is Peter Faleskini. With a career in multiple sectors spanning decades, Peter's influence in the AI risk management industry is unparalleled. He's a podcast host, public speaker, success coach, and author. But he's also a man that had it all, but then burnt out, went bankrupt. But he's now coming back, stronger than ever, with sustainable growth this time, though. His favorite quote is, "Not everything that shines is gold, and not all mud is dirty." Today, we're talking about AI risk management, a comprehensive guide for business. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Richard, for this beautiful introduction, and thank you for having me.
Really great to have you here. And Peter, I'm excited about this one as well, because I think this is a first for this show, but I always ask my guests, where in the world are you? So Peter, where in the world are you?
I'm currently in vacation in Italy.
Fantastic. And are you from Italy originally? Or?
Yes, but I do most of my work in Cambridgeshire in St. Ives.
Very nice indeed. Okay, well, Peter, let's get into it. I can't go past a little bit of your history because it sounds like you've done a lot of different things, and I only scratched the surface on the intro. So tell us just a little bit about your background, some of the challenges, and how you came to be so focused on AI these days.
I started as a really small kid, starting after hours in school in a programming class. And
Mhm.
at that time, most of our information came from magazines.
So
So
pre-internet, really.
yeah, that was before there were so-called BBS networks. So we connected through dial-up line to the server, and there were some files.
I'm
Much
having
smaller.
flashbacks. Yeah, I'm starting to sweat. I'm definitely having flashbacks now because I was doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah. So at that time, most of information were available in magazines. So my first artificial intelligence algorithm was written in one of those magazines, and I had to try it. My programming language of choice at that time was Turbo Pascal and C++.
Mhm.
Turbo Pascal was extremely demanding for these algorithms, but C++ was like meant for that. So
Mhm.
I got immense joy to be able to program something like that. And my first program was some form of quiz with with the multiple possible answers,
Mhm.
and would help people learn about different topics. And
Okay.
the AI would choose which grade are you um, based on testing. So if your test were, or if you were performing better, they would give you more demanding questions.
Ah, right.
So that was the first. Now they call it e-learning and machine learning and similar. But at that time we would just call it. I think was something like artificial intelligence choosing um, based on the data that were provided, and the data was derived from the tests. So
So you were doing e-learning before it was cool. I get it. You were ahead of the curve.
yes, but that was after school project. That is important to
Mhm.
stress. That is not something of a large scale, but it enabled me to understand artificial intelligence. I must stress that I don't do any programming right now. So the let's say the furthest I go right now is to prompt in Chat GPT to understand what goes or what goes in and what comes back. I also, because of all my experience, I know how to prepare all the input datas
Mhm.
for different tasks and topics. And I am fully aware that uh, if we feed computer trash, we get trash out, and there's
Mhm.
no way artificial intelligence can improve wrong input data.
So you said something very interesting there. Sorry to interrupt you. You've got this knowledge of the sort of information that can be put into AI and probably the prompts as well, because you mentioned ChatGPT. So how have you built up that knowledge over the years?
Yeah, from programming, I went into business. First
Mm,
was IT business, and then the biggest challenge in the 90s was payments. That was before X or later PayPal,
mm,
and we had huge problem authorizing payments on the internet in the late 90s. So because this was one of the biggest challenge in my company, I had my first web shop up and running in 97 with credit card payments, and then was also telephone payments
mm,
at that time. So I got intimate knowledge of payment processing. This got me into banking, and from banking I went into private banking. So my journey took me basically the first deals were done in Austria and Germany, and then we went into uh, Great Britain because
mhm,
Great Britain was just a bit behind the curve at that time, and then later developed, and it's probably now on top of the curve as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, just maybe on par with Silicon Valley, or maybe
mhm,
in some cases even more advanced. And then in 2007, I relocated to Switzerland, where I was manager of a trust, or now it would be called family office,
mm,
for 12 years. Then I experienced severe burnout, and I needed to take the time off. So I was 40 years old at the time. Took some time off, started thinking, started ticking the box, because I had um, so many things I would like to do, and I would always postpone it because of the job and other obligations. And then when I ticked enough of the bucket list items, I decided that I have to do something, and I decided that I'm gonna go in consulting. And because I made so many mistakes, uh, I have proven that I can help others avoid these mistakes. And
And I think that's one of those wonderful things. People come along and they expect experts to know everything, but they can't know everything unless they have had some experiences in life. And making mistakes is a great way to learn. There's a whole thing of fail fast, or just make a mistake. And yeah, you can help, as you say, other people avoid those same mistakes.
yes, and similar in artificial intelligence. In my business, we started using artificial intelligence. I would like to stress really important thing that
Mhm,
I don't think is stressed enough related to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence was first mentioned in novels
mhm.
of something of most or less evil. Then in the 50s, it became a science discipline. So we all know of artificial intelligence for 70 years now. But there was also a lot algorithms that we used. For example, 2011, we used artificial intelligence to prepare forecasts for utility companies. How will the utility company has prepared for forecasted data.
Mhm.
Will they need more energy or less energy in the next 15 minutes interval? So that was one of the project that I was part of. That's
So very granular, basically. So you can see that things are happening, and there was probably various data points, various inputs that you were monitoring.
yes,
What what
because
what sort
the,
of
the
things were
energy.
sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, the energy is bought on a 15 minute interval. That
Mhm,
is why we needed to um, organize data in a way that could support the traders that bought energy on the exchange.
Gotcha.
So our task was to utilize artificial intelligence to forecast whether there's going to be more energy needed. So whether they're going to need to buy additional energy on top of their existing contract, or they will be able to sell some energy that they won't need in their with their consumers. So that was our task, and that was one of utilization. Now it's 12 years ago when we finished this project.
And just out of interest, what sort of data points were you using to feed into your AI system to work out what should be happening, what should be purchased, and what should be sold?
At that time, we had all the historical data
Mhm.
for 4 years, for every saturated for every 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And we had weather data, because with energy usage is important what kind of weather is,
Mhm.
because some energy is used for heating. So we had weather data in two forums. One was, is it rainy, is it sunny?
Mhm.
And another forum was outside temperature.
Okay.
So we combined all this, and also dates and bank holidays, and we could prognose it with 99% accuracy, the trend. So will it go up or down? The accuracy of exact usage was below 80%, but the trend, whether it's going to go up or down, was 99% accurate.
And how much did that affect the customer that you had? I mean, what were the positives that they got from that in real terms?
Yeah, the problem with utilities is that they don't want to use the systems like this because they would be over optimized then. And
Ah.
the key business of utilities is not to be optimized and overcharge everything. So they could save about $120 million per year with
Wow.
utilization of this system.
That's very, very impressive. Anyway, so moving on from that one then. So you went through various things, but now you're at the point where you've got, your own setup again and you're in great shape. So tell us about the topic of the day, risk management with AI. So tell us about this.
Yeah, my idea when, as you know, AI has become a really hot topic.
Hmm.
And most of the people are completely oblivious to all the risks that are inherited if you use artificial intelligence. And another thing that is also important is that our suppliers use also artificial intelligence, and our clients also use artificial intelligence, and we are exposed to that risks as well. And then there is environment that where we live. For example, all speed cameras
Hmm.
need use some kind of artificial intelligence, or at least character recognition system that recognize our plate, so that they can charge us if we are too fast. So
Hmm.
these are all the risks that we are exposed to, but most of people, especially entrepreneurs, are oblivion to all these risks.
So give me some examples of the typical sort of risks that people generally are unaware of.
Yeah, one of really important risk, and that is omnipresent, is when you're typing, the AI will propose on your keyboard the next word. So this is similar. So
So classic autocomplete.
yes, and this when you're replying to client, if you fail to do it, for example, if you're talking with someone and instead of trying to use your Wi-Fi, and you write I'm trying to use your wife, it's
Oh, that
completely,
could be bad. Yeah.
yeah, that is extremely bad. And we take it more as a meme now, as a joke,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
in correspondence there are huge problems.
I would agree with that.
So it's similar with when now companies use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has enormous ethical bias. So there are a lot of minority groups that get extremely insulted because the texts are prepared as a recycling of texts that are available on the internet. And
Hold on. So let me just check this with you then. So ChatGPT was obviously trained on lots of data, and a lot of it
yes,
would have been scraping from the internet and lots of inputs from all over the place. So are you saying that you've actually come across examples where it seems to be racially biased or
yes,
biased in some way that is, oh wow, that's awful.
because the content that is available on the internet is also biased.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
and then
Interesting.
it's extremely important that either you teach ChatGPT not to be biased, or
Hmm.
that you have control. So a person that is already educated in acknowledging all these biases, to have sorry to have there needs to be a double check in place. And
Hmm.
right now, I encourage everyone to have a live person double check whatever was prepared by the artificial intelligence software.
Yeah, this is something I've heard from lots of people. I mean, the hallucinations are one thing that people always talk about now with ChatGPT. It launched
Mhm.
last November, and people weren't aware of them. And I think a few people have been caught out quite badly by them. But this bias I find very interesting. So there can be different demographics, people from different countries, racial bias. That's really quite scary. I mean, have you actually seen real incidences of this affecting companies?
Yes, and there's another problem or challenge that
Mm.
companies face. If I know that your company is using ChatGPT, I know how ChatGPT has indexed all the content, and right now the fourth version is using real-time data from the internet.
Hmm.
So I can prepare some web pages that use the adequate keywords for your company, and I can completely mess the results that you will be getting if you will be using, for example, ChatGPT uh, when you're using internet data. So that is extremely important. Then that you, if you're not using inside data, we talked about this data set,
Yeah.
as we call it. If you don't use your own data set based on just your documents, and you're trying to use third-party documents, you don't know what you're getting in. And if you're big enough that the company has budget, you are exposed to really simple attack that will result in legal problems, in clients stop working with the company, in negative reviews. All this stuff are the clear and present danger, as I like to call it.
Now, this is very interesting. This is something that I don't think enough people are exposing. I'm a big advocate of using AI in positive ways, but it sounds like you've come across plenty of examples where people are essentially gaming the system. They now know how, as you say, ChatGPT is being indexed. They know how to, prepare prompts that would have a negative effect. Um, is
No,
there?
not
Is it?
prompt, not
Go,
prompt, because for the
oh, sorry. Go
prompt,
ahead.
usually prompts
Yeah.
are done by insiders, so someone from within the company.
Hmm.
But because if we go a bit archaic, as
Hmm.
if we use prompt as a programming language,
Hmm.
so the code, what used to be the code, now
Yep.
is just the prompts are done by insiders. So I don't think there will be much problems, because usually you hire people that are trustworthy and so on.
Okay.
But the data that are that the engine is working with, if they are sourced on the internet, have a huge problem. So you can use ChatGPT with inside data, so that you don't use internet. And I would recommend for the companies, because you don't know what is on internet, do not use it as a
Understood.
source for ChatGPT to learn it about. That is
So there's
what
no.
I teach companies, how
Mhm.
they need to be really attentive to all these uh, challenges. Let's say it's not problem. And I'm also a huge, um, I'm a, I'm really huge on using artificial intelligence.
Hmm.
And according to myself, there are three ways to use artificial intelligence in the company. One is automatization. The second one is optimization, really important.
Yep.
And the third one, and this will come more and more into play, is outsourcing. So basically, artificial intelligence can cover these three, let's say, processes or
Hmm.
optimization parts in your company. However, you have to be really aware of all the risks, so that when you optimize, when you introduce automatization in your processes, or when you outsource the whole processes, you should gain money, you should improve your client relationships, you should improve your brand, you should improve all these things. However, if you just use it without understanding the risks, you are risking that you will not gain a lot of money, you will not gain popularity, and similar negative effects of
And lose
introduction
customers
of
quite easily.
artificial
Yeah.
intelligence.
So tell me, Peter, is there an example, and obviously you don't need to name names, of companies where you've seen them using AI, thinking, "Hey, we're going to do a great job. We're now using AI. Everything will be wonderful." And in actual fact, you've gone in there and you've gone, "Oh no, this is going to be bad." Have you seen examples like this?
Yes, just recently I've helped a legal office in US,
Hmm.
and they are using AI or really popular software. I will not mention name
No, don't
because
name names.
I
Don't
might
name
get
names.
in trouble for that. Um, but they're using really popular legal software that is used or is being used by legal experts and paralegal.
Yes.
What I discovered, and because I went and checked the algorithm, that is because I'm such a nerd. I always try to check the algorithm. Most of the companies won't even disclose the algorithm because they will just talk about the black box. So we have
Okay.
artificial intelligence algorithm, and they will not disclose it. However, there are buzzwords. For example, in this case was machine learning.
Okay.
And in their materials, you could see, so basically where in the presentation of the software, it was clear that every legal expert that uses this software contributes to machine learning, and that software learns from everyone.
Which
And
sounds good at this point.
yes, but there's a comma. And, and the comma is, and that means that your unique knowledge will be shared across every professional that is utilizing this software. So you're losing your edge. Competitive
Ah,
edge is lost because you have transferred your knowledge into the, let's say, the black box, this machine learning.
yes.
So every legal professional that is using this software, and these are hundreds of companies already using this software,
Mhm.
are without an edge. So according to economic theory that might be rewritten by ChatGPT soon, but if we don't have an edge, if we don't have, if I oversimplify it, unique point of sale, something that makes us unique, then we compete only on price.
And that's never a good thing.
That is not good for the bottom line. So
So let me ask you. Let me ask you. So I just want to ask you a specific question about that example, though, because it's quite scary. So, firstly, it sounds like the people who are contributing and using the system didn't realize that their knowledge was suddenly becoming available to everybody. But would there be a scenario where somebody could say, "Hey, I'm going to be coming up against this type of person, or this person at a certain law firm. How do you think I could beat them, or how do you think I could actually, propose an argument that they would have problems with?" Is that the sort of thing that could be achieved there?
know that not directly. So it would
Not
not.
directly.
This is not why what software was meant for.
Sorry,
Uh,
it's the hacker in me coming out. I do apologize.
Yeah, it would be possible, but it would be
Mhm.
much more complex, and a lot
Yeah.
of analytics would need to be introduced.
Mhm.
But us per se, that average user could do that, it's practically impossible.
Mhm. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, one area that I would love to ask you about, though, is I hear of some of the negative AI systems that are out there. I think there's Worm GPT was one of them. I mean, have you come across people actually trying to use AI in a negative, aggressive way at all in the work that you've done?
Maybe really important is to make it clear that
Mhm.
before AI was really popular,
Mhm.
a lot of secret services all over the world use it for negative um,
Okay.
purposes. And the easiest way to attack your, let's say, opponent or even enemy is to
Mhm.
distribute really harmful arms to them. And in the past, this was firearms that you distributed. Now you distribute a lot of code and apps that are that look like something completely innocent you can do with this, but the negative people will find immediately utility in doing harm to a third party.
So a
So
Trojan horse, essentially.
yes. So and now imagine that the negative people in your society, before they could not do it, they needed to use brute force. So they
Mhm.
were limited by their own capabilities. Right now, they can use state of the art equipment that is even able to improve themselves while doing something illegal. And you're up against things like that.
My question there would be then, this is a tool, AI at the end of the day. And it sounds like, yes, there are certainly ways that people can use it in a negative way. Conversely, can people use AI to fight people who are trying to use it in a negative way?
Yes, of course. That is where the risk management comes in. If you
And
are
there we go.
prepared, if you are prepared, you will be much better off when the attacks materialize.
So give me the most classic mistake that you see people making. What is that one thing that you see people getting wrong on a regular basis?
The most or the most common mistake is they don't understand where they get data from and where they're sending data to. That is the biggest mistake with artificial intelligence, and they do not understand how the algorithm works. That is number
That
one. Um,
Mhm.
how to say, a result that we get when we do audits in the companies.
That is very interesting. So, based on that and everything else that you do, if there was one piece of advice you would want the listeners today to take away from this particular discussion, what would it be?
I will try to make it as vivid or picturesque as possible.
Please do, yeah.
If you use normal apps without artificial intelligence, it's like driving your car. So in order to drive a car, you need um, license that you're allowed
Mhm.
to drive it, and your car needs to be registered and insured. And that also means that it needs to be technically without problems. And that is one level. Now imagine artificial intelligence apps like sports car that you use on a track.
Okay.
Preparation to use a track car is the car needs to have a safety cage inside. The tires are completely different. For normal cars right now, you can drive 20,000 miles and then you go and change oil. In a race car, you need to change oil every like 60 miles, 80 miles. You
Mhm.
need to use additional safety precautions. Every race driver has additional healthy checks that are much
Mhm.
more common. They need to use helmet. They need to use a glove. What they're wearing needs to protect them against fire and similar.
Mhm.
So artificial intelligence is intelligence on steroids. Thus, it will help you improve your productivity 10x easily when you master it. It can also 10x damages. So it is important that you prepare yourself. There is a lot of knowledge available on internet regarding risk management of artificial intelligence. I have prepared a Udemy course also on managing risk, the theory. And there are also a lot of experts that are aware of all the risks that you either are aware of or you're not aware of, but the experts will tell you what are the risks. And that is what I do. And I believe that don't think of artificial intelligence as an app that costs 10 euros per month, because it can cost you either your company or even your life if it's safety related. So I would always recommend get some advice. Get everything what you can, Google everything what you can, but if it's not sufficient to make educated decision or to bet your $1 million on it, get an expert advice. We have indemnity insurance, so if I don't advise you correctly, you will be paid out of my indemnity insurance, and that is also a bit reassuring, if I may say.
That is some really good news to have, actually. So people could actually come to you and say, "Hey, give me your advice." And if you get it wrong or if you've missed something, then they're still covered. This is very, very
Yes,
positive. And not everybody will do that. It's not like you go to the smart young kid who's at university and they say, "Hey, we can do all these things." No, you're doing it like a professional. You're properly set up, and you are in a position to really look after a company in this incredibly challenging but potentially beneficial world of AI.
no, I would like to stress it's not
Mhm.
just potentially beneficial. It will be a huge benefit, but we
Mhm.
need to learn how to do it, because race drivers drive much faster than normal drivers, and if they're well trained and they're fit, they really can make a huge difference, especially with average speed. So artificial intelligence in service industry can easily 10x either your profit or your turnover. So there's no way around it, and it's just a matter invest time to learn about it.
Fantastic. Peter, where can people find you, especially the courses that you've got, and what do you have exciting on the horizon?
For the course, they can find me on Udemy. The best way to get in touch with me is through LinkedIn, where I'm also community top voice on risk management.
Fantastic. And any other projects for the future, or is the course kind of the focus right now?
There is a project regarding the movie industry in the future. And as soon as it's finished, I will get in touch and maybe we can dedicate the whole podcast on that project.
I would be very excited because, a bit like yourself, I'm a nerd. I describe myself as a poly nerd, and movies are definitely one of the things I'm nerdy about. So that would be fantastic. Peter, thank you for a fantastic conversation, and you've really raised some, very interesting topics that I don't think many people are truly aware of. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, that's a wrap on another awesome guest episode for the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show. Just before you go, if you like this episode, we would be very grateful for a 5-star review. Please also consider recommending the show to a friend or two. Make sure you subscribe for future episodes at aiadvantage.show right now. Until next time, I'm Richard Wray, and if you're an entrepreneur, get the AI advantage today.